Now, thank you everybody for coming to San Diego. It's really, really great to have you here, and it's really fitting that we are just down the road from Camp Pendleton. Camp Pendleton, if you don't know what that is, it's the West Coast base of the United States Marine Corps. And on any regular given day, there's 100,000 people that populate that Marine base. But today we're going to tell a story and hear about two young men who passed through those gates just a couple of years ago. Now, I first heard this story from General John Kelly. He told it in 2010. And when he told this story, just imagine this, his son had passed away in Afghanistan just 4 days before it. So you can imagine the emotion going through General John Kelly as he stood up and he told this story, and it goes like this. In April 22nd, 2008, there were two battalions in Ramadi, Iraq that were changing out. One had been there for 7 months, and the other was just starting their tour. And they had one young man from each one of those battalions set up watch outside this barracks where there was 150 people inside, 50 Marines and 150 Iraqi policemen that they were training. Now, the one young man was named Corporal Jonathan Yale. He was dirt poor, he's from Virginia. He was supporting his mother, his sister, his wife, and his daughter on a $23,000 a year salary. The other gentleman, his name was Lance Corporal Jordan Herder. He was a middle-class kid from Long Island. General John Kelly said, had these two young men not been in the Marines, they would never have met one another. They would not have known that each other's world even existed. But because they were Marines, they had formed a brotherhood bond that was stronger than had they been born of the same woman. Now, those two young men were selected to go and stand in front of the barracks. They were given the instructions, do not let any unauthorized vehicles pass. They probably heard that many, many times before in their training, and so that's what they did. Now, after what happened, General John Kelly was called in to write the report and send back to the base, to the headquarters. Because here's what happened. As soon as those young men started their watch, within minutes, a large truck turned down the 60-meter alleyway and started speeding up and going directly down to the entrance. Now, when General John Kelly had to put his report together, he didn't have any American eyewitnesses. And this really bothered the brass because they wanted an American eyewitness. So all he was able to do was interview some of these Iraqi policemen that were also there. And they said, you know, those two young men saved us all. And then they said, you know, no sane man would have stood there and done what they had done. No sane man, they told General John Kelly. No sane man. But General John Kelly knew that he wasn't dealing with normal men. He was dealing with Marines. And so he submitted his report, and he was still very disappointed because he didn't have any American eyewitnesses. Until a few days later, somebody discovered 6 seconds of footage on a security camera. General John Kelly watched those 6 seconds over and over and over again. And here's what he saw. In the first second, Corporal Yale and Lance Corporal Herder immediately, instinctively, without any instruction, started firing. And a few of the Iraqi policemen, they joined in as well. Seconds 2 and 3, that's when, to a man, every single Iraqi policeman turned and fled. And as they said, any normal man would have done it. Any normal man would have. But the Marines continued to fire. Seconds 4 and 5, still firing. And as General John Kelly explained, they did not even shift to their weight. They did not step back. In fact, they leaned into it. Now, the American explosive device experts later on said that the truck was packed with 2,000 pounds of explosives. The engine block was found 200 yards from the detonation area. Final second. truck explodes, camera goes blank, and as General John Kelly says, 2 young men go to their God. 6 seconds. I have a friend who has a tattoo that says, "You are what you do when it counts." And when it counted, those young men stepped up. They stepped up because they had made a promise to their 3 families. Their family back home, their family of all their brothers in the barracks, and their family of the country that they promised to serve and protect. And likewise, you are here for 3 families. For your family back home, for the family that is in your boot camp, for the people that you train or your personal training clients, the people that you have made a commitment and a promise to, and then your family of the turbulence training world of everyone here and sitting around you. And so those 2 young men, they saved 150 people. And there's about 150 people in this room, and there's about 150 people in most of the Fit Body boot camps that are really successful. Now, 150 people sounds like a lot of people, but there's still empty chairs in here, and in your boot camps, you don't have everybody in your town that needs help. And so this weekend, our whole theme is to man up. We want to add a 0 to that. We want to help more people. I mean, I'm not satisfied that there's 150 people in here, when there could be more. We didn't get everybody that was interested, everybody that we could have helped to come to this event. Just like we haven't helped everybody in our communities that needs help, that's crying themselves to sleep because we haven't helped them with their health and fitness problems. And so over this weekend, you're going to hear from a lot of great people. We have Alan and Rachel Cosgrove. You couldn't find 2 experts better in fitness or in fitness business. They're literally the go-to experts for men's health and women's health, the biggest magazines in the world, and they are their #1 experts. And they have the #1 most profitable training studio per square foot in America. So you couldn't find 2 better business building experts. And so we have them here this weekend. We have Brad Pilon, who's an expert and a longtime friend of mine. And we have Bedros Keuilian, of course, as well. And then we have everybody else, all the certified turbulence trainers. So many positive people here. So many people that are exponential learners, and what that means is they continue to learn from others who continue to learn. And that's why you guys are here, to continue to learn from other people who are continuing to learn. And when you do that, you go home and you have the exact blueprint to succeed. Because here's the thing, a lot of us are pretty darn spoiled. We're spoiled by our $20,000 a month Fit Body boot camps. We're spoiled by our $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month info product businesses. Whereas 10 years ago, we would have been lucky to have made 30 to 40 grand a year. We were hungry back then. But now we're getting a little bit soft and complacent. And so we can step it up. We can help more people. Don't just be satisfied with the results that you're getting right now, with the 150 people that you might be helping in your boot camps, or the 100 people. You need to be able to go and step it up and go the distance. And a lot of people have done that. I mean, you've all done that by being here. But it's funny, anytime I have a seminar in San Diego, someone in LA will say, well, that's too far to go for two days. I don't know the math on that, but to go somewhere that's 2 hours away for 2 days is not really that far. But we have guys like Steve Adjay, who's a certified turbulence trainer. He came from Scotland. We have Peter Jankowski, a certified turbulence trainer, who came from Australia. We have Gustavo Rozzello, who came from Dominican Republic. Okay, we have people like Sean Barker, veterans of the industry, Fit Body boot camp owner, who came from the East Coast of Canada. That is a long trip. And we have young guys like Nestor Flores, who's just starting out, and you've made a great sacrifice to be here too. So there's a lot of people here, a lot of great people here, and that's what you have to do. You have to be around great people. Because here's what I see. I see a lot of untapped potential. I see people that are a little bit scared to step out of their comfort zones, and I see people that are really, unfortunately, worried about what other people think of them. Okay, but here's a little phrase I want you to keep in mind. I'm going to say it a few times over my presentation. You need to forget about the little O's of small P's. And the little O's of small P's is this. Forget about the little opinions of small-minded people that hold you back in your comfort zone. in your fishbowl of mediocrity when you should be out in this ocean of opportunity. So we're going to help you guys get over that this weekend by giving you a plan on how to change and a personal transformation system, a complete blueprint for what you need to do to change. So the great news is that you're really surrounded by awesome, awesome people. High energy people like Brian, nerds like me, nerds like Pilon, but lots of people that just are here to support you. So again, what Brian said about going out, introducing yourself, getting to know other people, it really, really is incredibly valuable for you to do that. Now, as I stand up here and I encourage you, I stand up here and I say all of this stuff as a bit of a hypocrite, because I need to do the same thing that you guys do. I need to become what's called your big self. I need to man up. And so your big self is a great term that I first heard from a guy named Matt Fury. Matt Fury is controversial in the fitness world, but he wrote about this as far back as 2003. And here's what your big self is. Imagine for a moment that you have accomplished everything that you think you can accomplish, that you've helped everybody in your community, your county, your country, and even the world. Now think about where, put aside the humbleness for a second, that I know so many of you are really, really humble, but think about this for a second. You know what you're capable of. And you also realize that you're probably not doing everything that you're capable of. Like deep down inside, you should think, I should have like twice as big of a boot camp as I do now. I should be the biggest, most popular trainer in my city because of what I know. And if you're not, that's okay. But you know where you should be. And knowing where you should be, that is your big self. Knowing what you are capable of. And so that's point B, point big self. And right now you're at point A. Today is point A. And over this weekend, we're going to give you the roadmap to take you from point A to point B. So that when you come back here next year, you're going to be on to bigger and better things. So that is the whole goal of this weekend, is to make sure that you guys leave with the exact plan that you need. All your questions answered. Make sure that you stop all the speakers in the hallways and make sure that you have all of your questions answered. Make sure that you meet everybody that you need to meet. So that's the key about the big self. It's allowing you to get out of your comfort zone, get out of the little O's of small P's, and really do what you need. Because you know that when you go back home, as well-meaning as a lot of people are, is they're going to try and suck you back into that fishbowl of mediocrity, into that comfort zone, where you're not pushing, where you're not around people who are going to push you. And so you need to be around these people more often, and you need to stay in contact with them. Now, as I mentioned before, I do stand up here as a bit of a hypocrite because I've been procrastinating on a lot of things. I've been doing exactly what I tell people not to do. I've really wasted some time on a few things. And so I'm going to be in the exact same boat as you guys this weekend, listening, learning, and formulating my plan. Because I did my first live event in 2007. And Heather was at it, and Brad was at it, and Alan and Rachel were at it, and Chris Lopez was at it. And I would be embarrassed if you saw the DVDs of that. And I say that not because the content was bad, but because this guy was bad. I was inconsiderate, I was probably rude. Frankly, I didn't know how to treat people. And it's embarrassing for me to stand up here and say that. But that's all part of getting better. So I know that a lot of people struggle with sharing where they need to improve. But when you do that, you get the accountability from other people. And accountability is one of the most important aspects of succeeding in anything in life. And that's so important for your clients to know, that professional accountability is the most important aspect of changing out of anything that they can get. And you, as the trainer, need to be the professional accountability to those people. Without that, it's almost impossible for most people to change. And that's what it's all about, is changing, is stepping up. It's controlling what we can, coping with what we can't, and concentrating on what counts. And that comes from Stoic philosophy. And what that means is you can only control your actions, your desires, and your behaviors. We can't change negative people around us that don't want to be changed. And so they're going to, talk in our ears with negativity and what we can't do or what we can do. And so that's the second part, is you cope with what you can't control by controlling what's inside of you. And then the third thing is concentrating on what counts. And this is where a lot of well-meaning people go wrong, because you think you know what counts, but what you think you know what counts is really other people telling you what counts. And so we're going to try and get you guys honest about your priorities and what really counts for you guys in life. Because what I've done over the last couple years to try and get better on stage, to bring better experiences here, and they've gotten better every year with each one of our summits, is to go through the 5 pillars of transformation that I'm going to share with you in a bit to give you the blueprint to making your transformation, whether it's in your business, whether it's personal. It works for every single person. It works for you, it works for your clients. And so I've been doing that. I've been getting accountability from my business partners. Some of them are here at the back, and it's been very helpful. Bedros has been a huge, huge help, correcting me when I make a mistake and supporting me when I need the support. And so if I didn't change, I wouldn't be able to achieve my big goal. Big goal has been on our t-shirts for many years now, of 10 million transformations by the year 2020. That's our big goal. That's what we want everybody to be a part of here. Helping out in their Fit Body boot camps, helping out as a certified turbulence trainer. And so that's why we have this event and bring so many good people together. But there's still one more thing that I've been procrastinating on. I've been wanting to write this book for so long because I know that I have so many books that I'm going to write, but I haven't been able to finish the first one. And so it's actually really, really embarrassing because I keep on talking about it, and every time Jeff and people from my business ask me, hey, how's the book going? I completely change the subject as quickly as possible. It really is embarrassing. And so recently, a friend sent a quote that was really applicable to me and this personal goal of mine. And he didn't send it because he knew I was struggling with writing a book. He just happened to send it to me, and it said, to write the book that you want to write, you must become the person that you need to become. And we can easily change that for you and your clients. To achieve the things that you want to achieve, you must become the person you need to become. You must become your big self. If you want to help 1,000 people, 10,000 people in your community, and right now you're hiding and you're not trying to sell anybody and you're worried about what, your brother-in-law is going to say about you because you ran some promotion that was a little bit goofy, but you knew it would work, so you didn't run it because it was too goofy and you didn't want to get any negative feedback. If that's your situation, you have to get away from that. Remember, we got to go from point A to point B by avoiding the little O's of small P's, avoiding the little opinions of small-minded people who mean well in many cases, but you can't let those people hold you back. And so here's how you're going to change. I need you to take out a pen. Take out a pen. You're going to write some questions down that you won't have time to answer now, but you will be able to answer them in about an hour on a Saturday morning, whenever you're at your most creative, in a nice creative place, with lots of caffeine in you. And so here's what you're going to start with. To get where exactly you want to go, you need to know exactly where you want to get. And so you have to write out your vision for your family, your business, your health, your personal wealth. You need to know where you want to go, and you can look 3 to 5 years into the future. But it's really important for you to have a clear vision of not only where you want to be, but 2 other things as well. What you are willing to do to get there, and what you are not willing to do to get there. So if you're not willing to work more than 35 hours a week, make it clear in your vision. Realize that might limit you in certain ways, but it might also make you a better and more efficient person as well. So know what you will do and what you will not do. It's very important. People make a big mistake by not outlining those things at the start, and then you say yes to too many things, and the next thing you know, you're working 60 hours a week. So that's the first thing, having the vision. Next, I want you to write down your top 3 priorities in life, whether they're financial, family, physical, it doesn't matter. Whatever your top 3 priorities are in life. And remember, these are the top 3 priorities from you, not what society tells you are your top 3 priorities, not what, anybody in your family tells you are your top 3 priorities, but your top 3 priorities. Next, you're going to write down your top 3 problems in life. Whether it's time management, whether it's a lack of finances, whether it's health problems, whether it's relationship problems, it doesn't matter. But you need to know what are the biggest obstacles in your way. And you need to know all the obstacles in your day-to-day life, in your week. What are the big obstacles that get in the way of me having success? Is it a lack of knowledge? Is it a bad business partner? Write down every single obstacle in your way. And then beside that, you're going to write down 2 solutions for each. 2 solutions for each, because if you have 2 solutions, you have plan A and you have plan B. And as a trainer, you know that's where clients fail. They know that they're supposed to eat well, and they can do that at home, but when they're out and there's an obstacle in their way and they don't have plan B, that's where they fail, right? So you need to have that in your life as well. Whether it's you spend way too much time on the internet in between clients when you should be doing something else, you need to find 2 solutions so that you overcome that obstacle. Now the next thing is where we get serious and we really get into the truth. What you're going to do now is you're going to write down your daily actions and habits. What do you do on a daily basis? Because here's where the truth comes in. You're going to take a look at your priorities, you're going to take a look at your problems, and then you're going to take a look at what you do on a daily basis. And there's going to be consistency one way or another. Those actions are going to be either consistent with your priorities, and you're on the right track, or they're going to be consistent with your problems, and that's why you're on the wrong track. And then now we know the problem. Now we know the habits that have to change. And now we know what you need to do to go from point A to point B and be more successful. You need to spend more time on those habits that are in line and congruent with what you truly believe are your priorities. And when you do that, the switch will flip. And things will start to accelerate and go better for you so much faster than ever before. Really will. So next, we give you the 5 pillars of transformation. These are going to allow you to really get closer to your big self, to really get closer to point B. Very simple. The first one is better planning and preparation. And now I've ran over 20 transformation contests. And so I see that these 5 pillars are in place for every single person that is successful and wins the contest. If one is missing, their chances of success decrease dramatically. 2, 3 are missing, forget it. Those are the people that are dropping out in 4 weeks at the most, probably even the first week. And so better planning and preparation is your first pillar. Because if you don't have that roadmap, if you don't have that plan in place, knowing what you need to do on a daily basis, knowing what you need to do each week, and knowing what you're going to do over the 12 weeks or however long your transformation is, then you're going to struggle. Because, you just don't know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, you're going to rely back on habits. And in most cases, most people's habits are bad habits. So better planning and preparation. Just spend more time scripting your workday if you don't get enough done. It's very simple. Very simple. All right, second pillar is professional accountability. Not just accountability to a buddy or a friend, but professional accountability. Research from Stanford shows that when people joined weight loss programs and they had professional accountability, whether it was a personal trainer or a doctor or a nutritionist, those people had better results than people that didn't have professional accountability. So that's why this is so important. These 5 pillars are so important for your own business. Now, the third is social support, and that's where you recruit the friends, you recruit the buddies who are going to say the positive things to you. Positive people like Rick Cassels, who always says nice things to me after my presentation. Now, those are the people that are going to keep you on track. They're going to be the people that are going to help you overcome all those little O's of small P's, all the negative stuff that usually keeps us, again, in our comfort zone, that really frustrate us. So you need to have the social support, and it can be online, it can be real world. So one study showed that the more often a person went to a weight loss forum, the better their chances of success. They didn't know any of these people, they just went online, checked in, got some social support, and it works. So if you have clients that are struggling, or if you're struggling and you don't know anybody around you who can be your positive social support in person, online works. And that's why text messaging and Facebook groups for your boot camps work. Because they're going to be stuck at work, all the people are going out to Pizza Hut, and they need some support, and nobody is there for them, but you are online, it works. Trust me. It also works because it allows them to meet and know people who have been where they were and have done what they want to do. And research shows that if you get somebody working out with someone who has the same goals, but is already making a little bit of progress, then the person will have better chance of making progress themselves. And again, that's why your role, running boot camps, of getting people like-minded with the same goals into the same room with the same energy, with the same positivity, is so important. It's so important. So that's why your role includes putting the social support along with your professional accountability. The fourth factor is the incentive. Now, the incentive can be negative or positive. It can be the carrot. The carrot is the positive. That's the reward. That's the, I'm going to go to Disneyland if, I'm going to take the family to Disneyland if we hit our goal here. Now, the negative is, we're going to punish ourselves. We're going to, not give ourselves a reward if we don't hit our incentive, if we don't hit our goal. So the incentive needs to be there. The incentive is one part of the light at the end of the tunnel. Because, you're setting down on a path that's going to take some sacrifice and hard work over the next 12 weeks or 8 weeks or however long it is. And so you need to have something at the end that keeps you motivated. And then the final factor is so important that I always capitalize it as the deadline. The deadline is so important. Again, I've been running over 20 transformations, and I just am blown away by the effectiveness of having a deadline. And also in any sales that I've ran in my business. The number of people that wait until the last minute to take action, but knowing that there is a deadline so they do take action, it still amazes me. And so that's why you need to have a deadline in your transformations, whether it's your own or whether it's for your boot camps, and why it's so great to have a deadline on a call to action in anything that you're using to get people into your boot camps. Because without it, people will procrastinate and push it off and push it off. So make sure that you have that deadline in there. And that's it. Those 5 pillars, the planning, the professional accountability, the social support, the incentive, and the deadline, those are your 5 factors. That's the formula to man up, to do what you can, to become your big self. All right? You follow that, you control what you can, you cope with what you can't, and you concentrate on what counts. And that's going to change your life, your clients' lives, any life that you help use that formula with around you. Now, there's one other thing that we need to work on if we really want to make big changes from now until next year. For those of you that are trainers and building your business, is that we need to deal with a bit of a politically incorrect, uncomfortable truth, and that is about selling. So here's what I believe. If you don't sell somebody to invest in your system, you aren't going to help very many people. Because people will only change when they invest in themselves. And the thing is, is you are the person that has the best solution in your city, in your marketplace. If you don't sell somebody, if you are too scared, you are worried about that negative feedback that you're going to get from the brother-in-law because you're running a sale, and he's saying, oh, you're running another sale, and your stuff looks goofy. If you hold back because of that negative feedback, think about the number of people that you are harming. And I say that because they are sitting at home, they're frustrated, they're on the verge of tears, they're looking online, they're looking for somebody in their area, and if you aren't out there selling with confidence, they're going to some second-rate boot camp, they're buying some crappy diet pills, they're doing stuff that doesn't work, and it's your fault. It's your fault because, again, you're hiding back, under the little O's and small P's. You don't want to step out there and offer your solution because you're worried about the negative feedback. And the truth is, you're going to hear some negative feedback in whatever you do. I always like to tell people that come to our one-day masterminds for the info business, and they're worried a little bit about negative feedback from people. Do I email my readers too much? Listen, there are hate sites devoted to Mother Teresa. If she can get it, anybody's going to get it. That's how negative some people are. So you're never going to be able to avoid it, and you'll never be able to please everybody. But you'll be able to help a lot more people if you sell a lot more people. You'll be able to sell and save them. The more you sell, the more you save. You save people from regrets. You save people from another round of binge eating. You save people from another round of crying themselves to sleep because you've finally shown them a way to get results. They've tried everything else, and if you don't have your stuff out there, they won't try your stuff, and they won't have the results that they need and deserve to get. And in fact, you can even save their souls. And I know that sounds a little bit overdramatic, but I have a letter from Pastor Ewan Morrison. If anybody knows about saving souls, I believe it's probably this guy. And he's a guy who bought my program online. I've never met him. I never will meet him. And you're going to get letters like this, and you're going to get testimonials like this. And when you do, print them out, post them, save them, keep them around for the days when the negativity starts to build up. Because this is a reminder of why we do what we do. Craig, I want to tell you my story and how you helped me in a very difficult process and time in my life. I'm a United Church of Canada minister by profession. For a number of years, I did not feel very good about myself. I did not even realize it until one day that I was overweight. I'm only 5'6", and I had ballooned to nearly 200 pounds. So I started biking, and I got down to 175 pounds. That took work, but then I hit a plateau. I kept biking, but nothing happened, and I got depressed because nothing was working. I even started to realize that I'd been in an unhappy marriage for years. Every night, I would wake up thinking I was going to die. Eventually, my wife left me. I was the talk of the community. The rumors and stories about me were unbelievable. I took my vacation and study leave and went to stay with my mother. She was a saint and gave me the best advice, to face my difficulties head on. So I made the decision to get back in shape. I was searching the internet and found you by accident. There was something about you I liked. You were Canadian, eh? Yet I thought you had an honest face. My favorite part of the letter. So I bought your ebook, Turbulence Trainer, my second favorite part of the letter. That was in 2012, and within a matter of days, I was on my way. I didn't give up because I desired to change, and you gave me the tools for success. I lost 27 pounds, and now I am healthy and fit. I'm 47 and in the best shape ever. I feel fantastic. I use your workouts every week, and I have progressed. Keep making your videos. I will be buying. By the way, I do not wake up every night feeling as if I'm going to die. I got through my painful divorce. My daughter came to live with me permanently. Your workouts are part of my life and faith journey. Thank you, Craig, for helping me to save my mind, my body, and my soul. If there's anything I can ever do for you, please let me know. Keep up the great work. So you will get these. You will get these and better. And especially if you train your clients in person, you will get these and better. But you will only get them if you sell people to invest in what you have to offer, and you don't hold back. and you don't let the opinions of other people stop you. It's very important. Because on the flip side, imagine where he would be if I didn't sell him. Living with his mother, 47 years old, the talk of the community, embarrassed to go out in public. Think about your best client, the one that came to you 50 pounds overweight with tears in her eyes. You helped her lose 30, 40, 50 pounds, change her life. Where would she be if you didn't have your flyer out in the community? Still at home, crying herself to sleep. And because that you haven't been out there and helping as many people as possible, all those people are out there. And those people that we can help are out there, and it's our fault for not helping them. So that's what we need to do. Step up. Become your big self. Help as many people as you can. Don't let inaction hold you back. So important. Concentrate on what counts. Cope with what you can't. Control what you can. So important. So this weekend, we have an incredible lineup of speakers. And this weekend, you are going to think about those questions that I had you ask yourself. And you're going to put together the plan, the blueprint to get you from point A to point big self. And you're going to leave here this weekend with your personal transformation plan. That's very important for you guys to do that. And so when you come back next year, and Heather, make a note of this, we're going to need bigger chairs because they're all going to be their big self, so we probably need a bigger room. Might not be able to get as many people in each row. So it's really important. And you can take this and you can take that exact formula and apply it for every single person that you work with. It works. I know it works. It's worked for me. It'll work for you. It'll work for every person that you work with. So remember the theme this weekend. Control what you can. You cope with what you can't. Don't get stressed out by it. It's not every day is going to be easy. And you concentrate on what counts, and you make sure you know what counts to you. Make sure you know what counts to you, not what other people tell you what counts. Because on April 22nd, 2008, Corporal Jonathan Yale and Lance Corporal Jordan Herder controlled what they could. They couldn't control the truck coming down, the suicide bomber. They couldn't control that at all. All they could control was their response, because they concentrated on what counted, which was taking care of their brothers. And so what it is for us is we control what we can, we cope with what we can't, and we concentrate on what counts, which is helping more people. So it's going to be an amazing weekend. We have a superhero lineup. We have the lovely Rachel Cosgrove. We have the unstoppable Alan Cosgrove. We have my friend Brad Pilon. We have Bedros Koulian, our mentor. And we have all of the Turbulence training people here. So let's have an amazing weekend, and let's kick it off with the highlight, Rachel Cosgrove.